If this is your first time here, this isn't a standalone video. It's one chapter in a complete story, the entire history of evolution, from the first replicating molecules to you. Every organism we mention is your direct ancestor, not a cousin species, not something similar, your actual lineage, an unbroken chain connecting you to the origin of life. That's what makes this different from every other evolution content out there. Most of it is scattered fragments, dinosaurs here, early humans there, the Cambrian explosion somewhere else, all disconnected. But they're not disconnected. They're all chapters in the same story, your story, and you can't understand any link without seeing what came before it. Lungs don't make sense without swim bladders. Mammals don't make sense without reptiles. Each chapter builds on the last, and nothing appears out of nowhere. 4 billion years of your deep history told as one continuous thread. If that sounds interesting, Chapter 1 is in the top right corner. I'd recommend starting there. If you've been watching from the beginning, you already know what this is. Let's keep going. The building blocks now exist everywhere. Amino acids, nucleotides, fatty acids, and glycerol scattered across pools, shorelines, and ocean floors. But life doesn't run on isolated building blocks. It runs on chains. Proteins made from hundreds of amino acids, RNA made from thousands of nucleotides, membranes made from organized sheets of lipids. The question isn't whether these pieces exist. The question is how random molecules floating in water become organized structures. The answer is brutally simple. They can't. Just not in water. Amino acids have two ends, an amino group on one side and a carboxyl group on the other. Bring them together and they can link, releasing water and forming a peptide bond. Except in water, the reaction runs backwards just as fast as forward. Water molecules constantly attack any bond that forms. You're trying to build chains in the exact solvent that destroys them. Unless you get rid of the water. Picture a tidal pool at dawn. Amino acids drift freely, 1 per million water molecules. The sun rises. Water evaporates. By noon, concentration has jumped a millionfold. There's barely any water left, just a thin film of molecules pressed together. The chemistry flips. Without bulk water attacking bonds, amino acids link spontaneously. 2 units, 3, 5, 10. The tide returns at sunset, but the chains persist because breaking them requires water molecules hitting at precisely the right angle. That happens, but slowly. The next day, the cycle repeats. After 100 cycles, some peptides reach 30 amino acids long. Scientists have replicated this in labs. Wet-dry cycling on mineral surfaces produces peptides spontaneously. Early Earth had billions of tide pools cycling daily for hundreds of millions of years. These early peptides aren't proteins, but they're different enough to matter. Some stick to mineral surfaces, concentrating where they'll participate in the next reaction. Some migrate to oil-water boundaries where membranes were formed. And some, purely by accident, grip metal ions like iron at specific angles. That changes local chemistry. Water molecules bound to that iron become acidic, eager to break specific bonds. Reactions that would take years happen in days. It's crude, maybe 10 times faster instead of a millionfold, but it crosses a threshold. A molecule that changes what happens around it, that's the seed of catalysts. RNA chains face the same problem but solve it differently. The key is clay. Montmorillonite clay has negatively charged surfaces. Activated nucleotides carry positive charges. Opposite charges attract, so nucleotides stick to clay in organized rows. When water evaporates, nucleotides press together. Phosphate groups link to sugars. One dry cycle will give 2 unit chains, next cycle would be 3, and after a dozen cycles, chains could reach up to 50 nucleotides long. Scientists have watched this happen. Activated nucleotides on Montmorillonite wet-dry cycling with no enzymes required. But length isn't what makes RNA interesting. Sequence is. String together random nucleotides and you get a floppy chain. But certain sequences fold. When one part bends back and meets another, complementary bases, A with U and G with C, form hydrogen bonds. The chain locks into a specific three-dimensional structure and creates a shape. And the shapes can do things. Some RNA sequences fold into structures, creating pockets, like tiny chambers enclosed by the backbone itself. A molecule drifting into the pocket experiences chemistry nothing like bulk in water. Maybe the pocket excludes water. Maybe it holds magnesium ions at a precise angle. Maybe it traps two molecules that would never meet otherwise. But by pure accident, some folded RNA makes specific reactions happen 100 times faster. Over geologic time, across trillions of pools, that's revolutionary. Here's the critical discovery. Some RNA shapes can link nucleotides together. An RNA chain folds into a pocket with precise geometry. Binding sites, positioning mechanisms, chemical groups help phosphate bonds form. This RNA is building more RNA. It's slow, error-prone, and mistakes happen every 10 to 20 nucleotides, but it works. Even better, RNA can template its own copying. Bases sit exposed like a pattern. Free nucleotides drift past. So when a complementary base approaches, hydrogen bonds hold it temporarily. If a catalytic pocket assists, a new base adds to the growing copy. One nucleotide at a time, a complementary strand assembles. The copy isn't perfect, but imperfect copying beats no copying. Sequences folding into a stable shape survive longer, become more common, and sequences with catalytic pockets copy themselves faster and dominate the population. Random sequences break down and vanish. This isn't full evolution, there's no inheritance system yet, but it's the first filter where structures determine survival. And we know RNA can do this because RNA molecules with these abilities exist right now, ribozymes, your ribosome. Scientists have created RNA copying sequences 95 nucleotides long. The chemistry works. Meanwhile, peptides and RNA discover each other. RNA carries negative charges. Peptides with positive amino acids get pulled towards the RNA electrostatically. Some peptides wrap around RNA like protective sheaths, extending its lifetime from days to weeks. Some slip into RNA-folded pockets, adding chemical groups RNA lacks. The combination outperforms either molecule separately. RNA provides structural precision, and peptides provide chemical versatility. This partnership isn't modern, it's ancient. Your cells still run on it. Fatty acid vesicles start trapping these systems inside. Most vesicles trap nothing useful, but near clay beds in drying pools, some close around functional molecules, and confinement changes everything. In the open ocean, a catalyst product disperses immediately. Inside a 1 micrometer vesicle, molecules encounter each other thousands of times. A catalyst works on the same substrates repeatedly. Products build to useful concentrations. If the catalyst produces something helping the vesicle, that benefit stays with the structure that made it. The membrane isn't sealed. Small molecules can still slip through, but large chains can't escape. Raw materials enter, but complex products accumulate. The membrane grows as fatty acids insert themselves. Eventually, the vesicle destabilizes. It's just simply too large. Physical forces stretch it into a dumbbell. The neck pinches, and 2 smaller vesicles form. Each daughter inherits half the parent's contents. If the parent held catalytic RNA, protective peptides, and raw materials, those divide as well. The RNA keeps functioning in both compartments. Over hundreds of generations, vesicles with functional contents become common. Vesicles without disappear, which is automatic filtering. One final ingredient is metabolic cycles. Near hydrothermal vents, thioesters form, molecules storing chemical energy. They're unstable, eager to transform carbonyl groups. Hit an amino acid with a thioester, and you get an activated amino acid that can join chains without external energy. Chain these reactions together, and you get a cycle. Simple molecules entering through the membrane transform into complex molecules trapped inside. Some cycles are autocatalytic. They produce something accelerating their own operation. Chemistry that sustains itself and improves. By now, Earth holds pockets where chemistry has become organized. Tidal pools where peptides grow daily, clay beds where RNA copies itself, surface waters where vesicles divide, vents where cycles turn simple inputs into complex outputs. None of these are alive. They don't maintain themselves indefinitely, and don't copy reliably, don't adapt purposefully, but they aren't random. What brings them together is location and time. A vesicle forms in a pool containing both peptides and RNA. Both get trapped, the peptides protect the RNA catalyzes reactions, helping peptides grow. Together, they produce lipids, helping membranes expand. This combination persists longer and divides more often. After thousands of generations, descendants resemble parents more than chance predicts. Combinations that cooperate spread. Combinations that interfere vanish. Earth now holds compartmentalized systems where useful molecules find each other repeatedly, where functional products accumulate, and where successful combinations pass something resembling design to descendants. Not life yet, but standing at the threshold, one step remains: converting the loose correlation between RNA sequence and catalytic function into a systemic code. That step transforms organized chemistry into biology.